पूरा राजघाट इस वक्त जलमग्न हो चुका है। तस्वीरें आप देख सकते हैं कि मैं यहाँ पर इस वक्त मौजूद हूँ। जब सुबह के वक्त मैं यहाँ पर आया था तब मेरी कमर तक पानी था और अब पानी का लेवल जो है वो मेरी गर्दन से भी ऊपर है।
The kind of challenge that Delhi is facing right now, and the Delhiites are the struggle that Delhiites have to do, a battle that Delhiites have to do today in order to reach to their offices. You can see the bikers are taking all the risk, moving through this water, wading through this water.
इस गली में जहां तक मैं चले जाऊंगा पानी बढ़ता जाएगा। ये देखिए इस घर पे तो पानी का कब्जा हो गया है। ऊपर यहाँ पे लोग इंतजार कर रहे हैं और अपनी खिड़कियों से बाहर निकल आए हैं क्योंकि यहाँ पर बिल्डिंग है, छत है, तो लोग छतों पर चले गए।
I am right now outside the Swaminarayan Mandir, and as you can see, I am sitting on top of a tractor because cars cannot come on this road. This is the road that comes from Kashmiri Gate, ISBT, from via civil lines towards the Chankira Makhara DRDO and the Chief Minister's residence.
Ground report from Mayur Vihar, where you can see this entire village has turned into a deluge of water. There's water everywhere.
As far as the water levels are concerned of Yamuna River, yes, they have slightly gone down, but as far as the water levels in the national capital is concerned, the waterlogged streets, the water that has in fact gotten into the main colonies of the national capital, that has further increased.
"24 hours and counting." This is the situation in parts of the national capital. For many of you who thought, like me, that the water would drain off come 6 p.m. this evening, that's most definitely not the case. Yesterday, I was out there in that water, waist deep. In some parts, it's gone up. In some parts, marginally reduced. But what's clear and what remains constant from yesterday to today is the suffering of the average Delhiite. And that's what we're putting the focus on in this edition of 6 p.m. Prime. I gave you a glimpse of what our reporters have filed for us through the day. They'll all be joining me live over the next 1 hour to get you all those updates from the ground on what's happening in the national capital. Let's begin with the headlines. Chandrayaan 3 spacecraft successfully takes off from Sriharikota to make a landing on the moon in 40 days from now. India cheers for our ISRO heroes.
India's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Plus 5 seconds.
Lift-off normal.
Here we have a majestic lift-off of LBM-3 M4 rocket carrying India's prestigious Chandrayaan 3 spacecraft.
Prime Minister Modi attends Bastille Day celebrations as guest of honor. Indian Tri-Service Contingent march and parade. IAF Rafales grace Parisian skies as part of the Bastille Day flypast. Politics peaks over Delhi flood mayhem. Delhi Mantri has pinned blame on Lieutenant Governor Saxena. He retorts, saying this is not the time for politics. The Maharashtra portfolio allocation suspense finally ends. Ajit Pawar gets finance portfolio. 2 Shinde camp ministries given to Ajit NCP camp. Another big setback for DMK Neta Senthil Balaji. Madras High Court states ED is entitled to Senthil's custody. Says money laundering is not the standalone offence. And tragic news coming in. Namibian cheetah Suraj dies in Kuno National Park. This is the 8th big cat casualty in just 5 months out of the 20 currently in India. Let's begin with breaking news coming in. First, casualties being reported of the Delhi waterlogging. 3 minors have drowned to death in the Delhi deluge. These 3 children have drowned in Delhi's Mukandpur. Inundated Rajghat has turned into a picnic spot. This is the biggest problem right now in the national capital. All you Delhiites watching this broadcast, do not take the waterlogging lightly. It's not a recreation point. It's not clean water. It most definitely will lead to health complications. And tragically, in one particular case, 3 children who were playing in the water, attempting to swim in it, have drowned in northwest Delhi. And this is because of people thinking that the water levels are fine, manageable, we can enjoy in the Yamuna while it's in our neighborhood. It's led to 3 children now dying. And what we're seeing is an influx of flood tourism, believe it or not, in Delhi, where people are thronging parts that we're reporting from, showing you the plight of how waterlogged it is, how completely full of water. You have Delhiites coming there to click pictures and selfies. I want to play out a report from Moshmi Singh that shows you the extent of the problem here, how people are flocking these places without any regard for their own safety, to picnic, to take selfies, to send videos.
We are at Rajghat. Delhi is reeling under one of the worst floods in decades. And you're not expected to do this. You can see that some people are having a pool time there on the ring road, enjoying the water that is spilled over on the roads as if it's a picnic day. It is not a picnic day. This is dirty muck water, sewage water, infected badly, and you could in fact get infected with waterborne diseases, but people refuse to listen. We've seen various spots in Delhi which are flooded, people thronging those places. Right now the police has cleared this area. When I stepped in, there wasn't much space to walk because people thought it's Friday evening, and they came out with tiffins and were enjoying the water at Rajghat, which is completely flooded. We saw children bathing here like they are there, and the police actually really had to haggle. This guard had to blow the whistle. Even now he's insisting. Guard भैया कितना लोग आ गया था यहाँ पे? आपने सबको हटवाया यहाँ से? जी?
पिकनिक मना रखा, बस खाना ही नहीं ला रहे ये लोग। नहीं तो पिकनिक मनाने के लिए यहाँ बनाने को आ जाए, अभी चटाई वटाई बिछा दो, खाना भी ले आएंगे घरों से अपने।
तो आपने मना नहीं किया, पानी गंदा है इस तरह से?
सबको मना कर रहा मैडम कि पानी गंदा है, करंट आ जाएगा, कुछ भी हो सकता है। साहब आ रहे नहीं कह रहे, हम कोई बात नहीं, हमें कोई परवाह नहीं है, हम पानी देखेंगे नहाएंगे यहाँ पर, ऐसे कर रहे हैं।
Now, there's only so much that the authorities and the administration can be blamed for this kind of a mess. For people throwing caution to the winds, picnicking there, as Moshmi just showed you. Many of them, even when I was reporting on the ground, I noticed locals coming together, swimming in the water, diving headfirst into the water, thinking it's a recreation zone, thinking let's dive and play in this water, which is first of all carrying all sorts of diseases, and secondly, you don't know the depth. There is all sort of material floating also in this water, which is why it's extremely dangerous to do what so many Delhiites currently are doing. Let me take this across to our reporters on the ground. We've got Milind Sharma, Amit Bharadwaj and Moshmi Singh joining us on this broadcast. Amit, to you first on the news break that we've just got. Tragic news of 3 children having died because they drowned to their death. Are we seeing this far too often? I'm sure while you've been reporting too, you've seen how in several waterlogged places, children and adults dive into this water, think it's all fun and games.
Absolutely right, Akshita. It's very unfortunate. 3 children have died in Mukundpur area of the national capital. And all these 3 children had dived into a waterlogged ground thinking that it is a picnic spot, something to enjoy. But unfortunately, these minors could not, they had no idea about the depth of the water there. A police constable had jumped into the water to save them, but he was possibly too late, and these 3 kids have died. 3 minors were between the age of 14 to 15. Their dead bodies have been taken out of the waterlogged ground. And unfortunately, Akshita, unfortunately from the very beginning we have been telling that to Delhiites out there that this is not a picnic spot. Right behind me at Shanti 1, Daryaganj crossing, you can see how recklessly the parents are allowing their children, small children, to bathe in this water, you know, and this is extremely dangerous. This is a health hazard looming large on the national capital. Right behind us are two small children. Their parents are also sitting here, and they have zero concerns about the health hazard that is looming large on their children as well. Because Akshita, when I was at Red Fort area today, the NDRF volunteers told me, who were involved in rescue operation there, they told me that around Red Fort, behind Red Fort, there's a possibility, higher possibility of stray cows and dogs, street dogs who were stranded and have, their dead bodies are still lying there. So the water that is flowing through all these areas is already contaminated, and the parents have zero idea, concern about this situation, that this could be really dangerous for their children. आप लोगों को इस बात का अंदाजा है कि पीछे डेड बॉडीज हैं, कुत्तों के, गायों के, उससे कंटामिनेट होके पानी आ रहा है और ये बच्चों के लिए बहुत खतरनाक।
बिल्कुल जस्ट अभी हमें पता लगा, इसीलिए हम जा ही रहे हैं। अब
जा रहे हैं
जी, बिल्कुल अब यहाँ से निकल ही रहे हैं।
खतरनाक हो सकता है।
नहीं, इसी अभी भी बिल्कुल हमें पता लगा, तो इस चक्कर में हम जा ही रहे हैं। हमसे गलती हुई,
3 बच्चों की मौत हुई है इस तरह से अभी मुकुंदपुर में, इसी तरह से वाटर लॉगिंग में स्विम करने की वजह से। ये नहीं लग रहा आप लोगों को कि गैर जिम्मेदाराना रवैया दिल्ली वाले?
बिल्कुल था हमारे, लेकिन हमें इस चीज को फील हुआ है और इस चक्कर में हम जा रहे हैं और उसे भी कह रहे हैं कि आप भी घर जाइए, हम भी घर।
Right there, Akshita, one parent accepting his mistake, but
no, and
the situation
you know,
is not good in
individually,
Delhi.
Amit, individually, it's like we have to send the message out individually. There are people, you see that, people sitting in the water and playing, thinking it's, you know, recreational, thinking this is great, we can have a picnic spot here, not realizing that this is extremely contaminated water. Take it from me, I was out there in that water yesterday, and you could see logs coming in from the Nandagopal Ghat, which is where cremations happen. Logs coming from there, all sorts of muck floating in that water. It's extremely dirty water. So to all the Delhiites who are looking to have a great weekend of fun with the Yamuna, it's most definitely not the case. Please do not venture out and try to play in that water. I can't believe we haven't even given this kind of an advisory, but the reality is that 3 children have drowned to their deaths right now in the national capital as a result of this kind of reckless behavior. I'll request all our reporters to stay on with us. Let's get you images now from different parts of the national capital to show you if the situation has changed at all in the last 24 hours. These images are from Kashmiri Gate, which continues to remain waterlogged as the water level of the mighty Yamuna remains stable, but the water levels in the city continue to go up. Yamuna Bazaar area is one of the worst affected. Houses and vehicles are seen submerged in the water. People had to use boats to go back and forth. The old Yamuna bridge in Delhi, known as Loha Pul, has been inundated as the Yamuna river water level rose up. Roads around ITO in the heart of the national capital have been completely flooded, making it nearly impossible to commute in one of the key arterial roads of the national capital. Nandagopal Ghat continues to be underwater as Yamuna river in fact entered this particular ghat. The crematorium is near the banks of the Yamuna river and so was directly impacted by the water levels rising. One of the most dramatic images that has come in today is from the Rajghat in Delhi, where water levels rose even as in some parts it marginally receded. Why is that? Because a drain had burst close by in ITO. So add to Yamuna flowing in, the drains aren't functioning in the national capital, leading to another water crisis. These pictures are from the Rajghat. You can't even see right now the name board because the water levels have increased to that level. I want to bring in Maushami Singh on this broadcast right now. Maushami, you were reporting from Rajghat and you've gone, of course, through different parts of the national capital. Compared to yesterday, have things slightly improved, or is the water level essentially stagnant at the same level?
You know, despite, Akshita, the water level of the Yamuna decreasing, you know, the national capital, several areas, we've still seen an increase of the level of water, like in Rajghat as well. where you can see that the road is still flooded, and even the Rajghat, is completely submerged. But importantly, that's because of several factors, and it's not got only to do with rain or water being released from Hatnikund Dam. That's also because of silting in the Yamuna river bed, encroachment on the banks of Yamuna, and importantly, the entire stretches of flyovers, over almost 24 flyovers that were built in a 22-kilometer stretch, which really causes waterlogging. And you just said that the drainage system of Delhi is cracking up. So the problems post-flood will get for Delhi will be over. We can't say that. There are several elements and several factors. The rain could play truant because the weather department has said that Delhi could receive moderate to heavy rainfall in the next 3-4 days, and also the sewage system. So that's one reason that Delhiites need to be on an alert mode. They need to understand there is a situation here where they need to be sensible and not risk their lives.
Very true, and that's the basic precaution right now that every Delhiite needs to take. Once the water levels recede, you're going to be seeing a bigger impact, in the sense that it is going to take months really for us to emerge from this kind of a crisis, because the water levels, as they go down, will leave behind a complete mess. Milind is joining us from Noida. And Milind, before I come across to you, I'll get our viewers an update on what's happening in the national capital, and then we'll focus on Noida as well. With, in fact, the water at this point continuing to remain stagnant in the national capital, let's get you some of the images from Delhi right now. Iconic landmarks has faced flood fury. Yamuna water levels continue to remain high along the border and compound wall of the Red Fort. These drone images show you the extent of damage across the area. Water levels haven't gone down since yesterday. Rajghat continues to remain submerged as the regulator of the Delhi Irrigation and Flood Control Department suffered damage near Indraprasth, which is close to Rajghat, and that led to water levels rising there. Another badly affected area is that of Shantivan, where several locals were stranded for hours due to inundated streets. Vehicles struggled to make their way through as commuters waded through knee-deep water. Houses in Yamuna Khadar area continue to remain underwater as the Yamuna water levels have in fact stabilized. People were using boats to commute from one place to another because the water levels in the city haven't come down. So a lot of questions are being asked on what's happened. What has led to this unprecedented crisis in the national capital? People have lived here for years and decades together and never seen anything quite like this, of the Yamuna water levels reaching this level and then going ahead and flooding the entire national capital. 45 years, we have not seen anything like this, and nobody really in Delhi has been spared. Every single part of the national capital currently has faced some problem or the other because of the Yamuna water levels rising. In our next report, we decode for you what's caused this crisis.
A lifeline turns into a relentless adversary. Floodwaters from the Yamuna invade Delhi. The surge infiltrates homes of both the wealthy and the impoverished. But what caused the unprecedented deluge? Given the city's downstream geography and climate change causing extreme weather conditions.
The water from Himachal Pradesh flows into Haryana. When rains come in Haryana, the water from Himachal Pradesh and the rainfall that comes to Haryana then flows into the river Yamuna into Delhi. So the current situation that we are facing is basically because Delhi is further downstream from places that are facing an acute, almost climatic catastrophe.
Experts don't fully agree. They delve into the heart of the matter and that of the burgeoning city. Experts suggest that Yamuna's riverbed itself may have risen. Larger quantities of water released in the past from the neighbouring states never caused such consequences.
To colonize lands around the river, two major embankments have been built, the left main embankment and the right main embankment. Now this has jacketed the river. Extreme events are going to happen. The amount of water which has been released this time is only 300,000 cusecs. In 2019, 8,28,000 cusecs was being released, but they did not cause the same kind of problem. Is it possible that the river bed has risen?
Erosion weakening the river banks, pavements obstructing the natural flow, and silt narrowing the course. Another expert highlighted a multitude of factors that could have created a perfect storm.
Atish is wrong in saying that what happens in Delhi, I mean, Delhi is not, this flood is not dependent on what's happening. There has been a rise in riverbed level. There has been obstruction in the river flow. There are at least 30 bridges and flyover either under construction or completed. There has been more paved areas, which means less percolation and recharging of groundwater.
Some place the blame on unscientific constructions springing up across Delhi since the Commonwealth Games. Ill-planned structures disrupting the city's equilibrium year after year.
Delhi has reduced its capacity to carry water, mostly because of the large-scale encroachment that took place during Commonwealth Games time and the subsequent developments that came on the riverbed.
A disturbing pattern across major cities ravaged by floods. A common development model that worsens the situation in urban plains.
Unfortunately, we are perhaps not waking up enough. In addition to our haphazard development, we also have to understand that climate risks are non-linear. So it's not too late. The point is you have to start preparing urban infrastructure that is designed for understanding what kind of a changed climate and what kind of extreme hazards we are going to be facing.
The Yamuna breached its course because its own capacity stood breached. Experts propose that policy should be reshaped to align with the new realities.
Protect lives and livelihoods by having far more real-time early warning systems. Now, many states have already started doing that, and they should be credited for doing that. But real-time flood warning requires a different level of investment. The carrying capacity of these urban areas is being breached. So we cannot keep building in the same concentrated landmass.
High time the policymakers abandoned flawed practices and adopted a new approach. One that combines scientific knowledge with environmental sensitivity. Bureau Report, India Today.
It's not just Delhi now that's flooded. These images that you see behind me are parts of Noida, which also now is seeing water levels going up, and it's fast spreading to several sectors in Noida as well. Particularly farmhouses located near the Yamuna have all been completely flooded out. And with this situation arising now, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath took stock of the situation, conducting an aerial survey to ensure that all necessary steps are taken by the authorities to be prepared for the situation at hand. Milind Sharma is joining us live from Noida. Milind, where exactly are you? How bad is it in Noida, Milind? Is Noida completely underwater like parts of Delhi?
Well, Akshita, yes, I'm at the Noida's 135 sector, and you can see behind me the people have to ply on tractors and boats to actually come out of the inundated sectors of the water. I'm trying to show you here rescue operations are currently underway because a lot of animals were stuck inside this Gaushala. And let me just show you over there. I'm just panning my camera. These are the animals that have just been taken out of the waters of Noida right now, and look at the way that they are continuously being rescued. I'll ask Ashwini Helen to also show you these cows, and look at the situation of these cows. This particular animal is currently shivering. They've put towels and cloths just to cover the animal who was rescued from the knee-deep water. And just look at that. These animals are extremely tired, having stood up in the water for a long time. Here as well, currently a lot of cows are being taken out of the gaushalas yet again. Wading through water, people have to drag them out. This is the Noida authorities cowshed or gaushala. There are many private farms also in this particular area, Akshita, that are completely submerged under Yamuna, because Yamuna has now made this her path to flow. And the animals, the situation is that it's not just a, look at that. We were just speaking to you, Akshita, and I can't believe that in front of our eyes there's a tractor that has just submerged inside the water right now. That tractor that was just driving past us has gone under the water. People have fallen from the tractor into the water, and there are rescue people who are now running towards that particular tractor that was just moving ahead on this road. We were told by the rescue operators that there is a road that has submerged on the middle path, and just there, if I could just ask Ashwini Helen to show you the people who have fallen off the tractor there. It just the tire got stuck in one of the roads, and they are just trying to rescue these people right now. So this is the kind of horrific scenes that are currently being meted out. There's a JCB that's coming right in front of us from here. The JCB is being deployed by the Delhi police, the Noida police right now. The JCB is going to try and rescue. There were 6 people who were sitting on the tractor that passed from here, as I just saw them. And this particular JCB has now been deployed. There's another JCB that's gone inside. What is being told to us that the entire road is now cracked from the bottom of where the water is currently flowing. So I just want to show you in visuals absolutely chaotic scenes in Noida's 135 sector, where
so there are
boats,
several sectors, a
tractors,
handful of them, where the situation is similar to what Milind is telling us, where only tractors can be used, boats can be used to ply back and forth. Thanks, Milind, for getting us that ground report. These are some of the images that we're getting to you from different parts of Noida as well. But remember that even once the water recedes, which the Delhi government says could take another 24 hours, it's going to be a mammoth task to ensure that there's no sort of outbreak of disease, whether it's waterborne or, for that matter, the fact that, you could have vector-borne diseases. Mosquitoes are also spreading across the national capital, the rise of dengue cases. All of that now is a serious concern in Delhi, and steps will have to be taken proactively to ensure there's no outbreak of any sort of health scare in the national capital.
Homes flooded. Roads turned into rivers. As Delhi remains submerged, a public health crisis looms. With drains destroyed, dirty water that could be contaminated with sewage or dead bodies of stray cattle and dogs can prove to be hazardous.
This water will remain stagnant, and one of the other things which a lot of experts at the moment are fearing is the increase in dirty water, and also the health of the people who stay here, because once the water will recede, then there are chances a lot of people might fall sick.
The waterborne illness that come with this dirty water are no backfloat. According to health experts, this murky flood is capable of contaminating Delhi's drinking water. It is a cocktail containing all sorts of viral and bacterial diseases, putting people at risk for cholera, typhoid, malaria and more. According to experts, even exposing your skin to this water can cause rashes and infection.
Water is the main source of infection over here. So, potable water. Boil your water for cooking, boil your water before drinking, whatever the water comes in, boil it well so that this infection reduces. Also, once the flood is not active, it's a stagnant water, all these protozoal infections like malaria and all that kind of spread. So don't let water stagnate around your house or in your coolers.
When the streets finally clear and water levels recede, the threat of disease will remain. Bureau Report, India Today.
It was last evening from Noida going into Delhi by itself was a nightmare because on all sides is water. Most roads are barricaded off. There's no way you can get into the heart of the national capital. After a 2-hour struggle, I finally got there. And where I reached was close to the Lal Killa, Old Delhi, which is usually about a 25-minute drive. Took me 2 hours, by the way. And then when I reached there,
जैसे अब इतना बड़ा है, अब इतने चैनल में से पानी जा रहा है, बाकी इतने चैनल में से नहीं जा रहा। पूरे में से जाएगा तो जाहिर तौर पे पानी तेजी से बाहर निकलेगा। हरियाणा सरकार मेंटेनेंस करती है सर इसका? हरियाणा सरकार इसका मेंटेनेंस करती है, लेकिन चूंकि दिल्ली में उनका कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, इसके बाद इसकी कार्रवाई चालू करेंगे कि अगर वो हमें दे दें, हम उनसे निवेदन करेंगे कि हमें ही दे दें ताकि हम इसका मेंटेनेंस करें।
नहीं खुले हैं ये गेट, ये अब जब ऐसी वर्स्ट सिचुएशन हो गई है तब इनको खोला जा रहा है।
कई दशकों से कह रहे हैं नहीं खुले हैं।
सर, तो दिल्ली सरकार की जिम्मेदारी नहीं बनती है कि उन्हें पहले से पता होना चाहिए था?
नहीं, बताते हैं कि हरियाणा से कई बार रिक्वेस्ट की है, लेकिन हुआ नहीं। तो इस बार जब ये आफत आई है तो हरियाणा से इस बार कहा जाएगा कि भाई देखो इस बार इतनी आफत आई, अब आप मान जाओ, आप दे दो। तो मैं
बीजेपी का आरोप है कि ब्लेम गेम चल रहा है, आरोप प्रत्यारोप की सियासी।
हमने तो किसी को किया नहीं है। वही मैं कल से देख रहा हूँ, हमें गाली दे रहे हैं, वो देते रहे गाली, गाली देने में क्या रखा है। इस टाइम तो ये है, ये तो ऐसी क्राइसिस है जिसमें इंसान को इंसान की मदद करनी चाहिए। एक दूसरे को गालियां देने से कोई फायदा नहीं है। पर मैं देख रहा हूँ सुबह से वो कल से बीजेपी वाले मेरे को गाली दे रहे हैं, दे लेंगे गाली, अपने को क्या।
दिल्ली के कानपुर में 3 बच्चे डूब करके मर गए हैं, 3 मौतें हुई हैं।
ये बहुत दुखद बात है। वो तीनों बच्चे नहाने के लिए गए थे उसमें नदी में, पता चला। और हमने कई बार बोला है कि नदी से दूर रहिए। कई लोग एक तरह से देखने जा रहे हैं, बाढ़ देखने जा रहे हैं, वो भी मत कीजिए। कई बार अचानक पानी बढ़ जाता है तो सेल्फी ले रहे हैं, वीडियो बना रहे हैं, वो सब मत कीजिए। नहाने के लिए अभी नदी का बहाव इतना तेज है, आप अच्छे से अच्छे अगर स्विमर भी हैं तो भी इस नदी का बहाव आप उसको बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पाएंगे।
दिल्ली की जिंदगी नॉर्मल कब होगी सर? पानी कब हटेगा? कब तक बेहतर होगी सर?
अब देखिए कल और परसों फिर बारिश का अंदेशा है, अभी जो आया है ना, अभी मौसम विभाग का आया है। तो अगर बारिश अगर नहीं आती तो मैं समझता हूँ 1-2 दिन में हो जाएगी। बारिश अगर और आएगी तो फिर देखना पड़ेगा कि कब।
एक आखिरी सवाल है सर कि आखिर दिल्ली की जो हालत है उसका जिम्मेदार कौन है?
इसमें किसी का ब्लेम गेम थोड़ी। सारा पानी तो ऊपर से आ रहा है। बारिश तो हुई नहीं दिल्ली के अंदर, एक दिन बारिश हुई थी, उसके बाद तो ये सारा का सारा पानी हिमाचल प्रदेश, हरियाणा उधर से आ रहा है। ये हमारा लोकल पानी तो है नहीं। और इतना पानी हैंडल करने की दिल्ली की कैपेसिटी आज तक नहीं थी। 278 से 43 साल के बाद, 45 साल के बाद इतना 207.5 क्रॉस किया है। तो बहुत बड़ी क्राइसिस है। ऐसी क्राइसिस में एक दूसरे पे दोष देने की बजाय सबको मिलके काम करना चाहिए।
That's Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal speaking on the current situation, saying that there is a crisis in the sense that there isn't enough space for the water to completely drain off, which is why it's going to take time. He's also urged an appeal to Delhiites not to venture out and into the water. Carrying 1 billion dreams, India has made its shot for the moon. ISRO launched its 3rd lunar mission, the Chandrayaan 3, which lifted off at 2:35 p.m. with an orbiter, lander and a rover. It's expected to reach the moon on 23rd or 24th August, in about 40 days from now. India will join an exclusive elite list of just 3 other countries that have managed a soft landing on the moon. And we've all got our fingers crossed.
3, 2, 1, 0.
India shoots for the moon, carrying hopes of billions of Indians. Bahubali rocket LVM-3 rocket lifted off with Chandrayaan 3, aiming to land a rover on the moon's surface. The takeoff was picture perfect, every technical milestone achieved.
यह भीमकाय रॉकेट आसमान को चीरते हुए अपनी भयानक दहाड़ से चारों ओर कंपन उत्पन्न कर रहा है.
And as Chandrayaan 3 separated from the rocket, scientists and space enthusiasts gathered to witness history and broke into applause.
We are excited, elated by the success of this because it was so much important for us to put it first in the orbit. Without that, there is no further travel to moon possible. So that way, it is really exciting for us.
The spacecraft will take about 2 weeks or more now to enter lunar orbit, aiming to be the first to land near little explored south pole of the moon. The journey is estimated to take more than 40 days, with the spacecraft potentially reaching the moon around August 23rd or 24th.
It was perfect, and all the propulsion stages worked very nicely, and the intended orbit also was achieved, and it was a perfect mission.
If ISRO pulls this mission off successfully, India will join an exclusive list of just 3 other countries that have managed a soft landing on the moon: US, former Soviet Union, and most recently China.
It's a moment of glory for India, also a moment of glory for you and I, all of us who have been part of the history in the making. And while Team ISRO has done the entire country proud, India has reaffirmed its leading role as a global player.
India's second lunar mission was launched in July 2019, but it was only partially successful. Even today, its orbiter continues to circle and study the moon. But the lander rover failed, crash landing during touchdown. Chandrayaan 3 comes 13 years after the first moon mission in 2008. With Pramod Madhav and Nagarjun Dwarkanath in Sriharikota, Bureau Report, India Today.
And that's all we have time for in this edition of 6 p.m. Prime. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'm leaving you with a part of the press conference held by ISRO. A beautiful moment where our scientists finally had time to enjoy their achievement and burst out laughing in the midst of their press conference.
Yes, sir. I take this opportunity to thank all the mission executives because mission executives for all the supports. The backward gas entry also is eliminated, and it is a perfect system. Yes, sir. And CE20 stage also is